Okay, so preparing the day-by-day book. So this is one of the dialogues. I've chosen the grid one today. You could use the one with the dots, you could use the blank one, or if you can't be bothered to do background, just pick the ready-made one. That's what you can do. I like the grids and the dots because if you're unsure about lining things up, you can follow these. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be using, that one there. I'm going to be using the two smaller gel plates from the gel plate set that Dina and I have. So I'm using these two small ones. I'm using the small Brayer. The colours I'm going for, I've decided to go in the warms. I've gone for the desert sand, the pink flamingo and the fiery sunset. They were the ones that were released in January. And then I've also gone for Island Parrot, Blue Lagoon and Balmy Night. Again, they were released in January. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some backgrounds in here. And I'm going to do so many with one colourway, so many with the other colourway, jump backwards and forwards. I have a blending tool for every colour that's there. What else have I got to use? Oh, I've got some stencils which I shall show you later on, okay? Now, I normally like to leave this page. I'm just going to put a cross on there because I always forget. That's where I'm going to put a calendar. So I'll just put a cross in there. I'll do the front and I do all the different pages, etc. So I'm going to start with the oblong block, and this, if you look, this was designed to perfectly fit inside and leave a bit of a border around. So I'm just going to randomly go around. I'm going to start with the cools, and you only want a little bit of paint, not too much. Okay, a little bit of paint on there. If you put too much on, you can always take it with a baby wipe and wipe it off. Oops, what happened there? Okay, so I'm just going to lightly add some colour onto that front page there. I'm going to miss that one. I'm going to lightly take some colour over the two. I think that just needs a bit of a shake actually. Let's try that. A little bit. It is a brand new gel plate, so it's just beading up a little. That's better. Okay. So I'm just going to add some paint on here. If you are bothered about the pages sticking, you could just do this with your baby wipe. I'm not, because it's just added texture. But I'm just going to, sometimes I'll do a single page. Sometimes I will do a double page. Just depends what mood I'm in. You never know what you're going to be doing later. And then when I'm happy, I'm going to take the actual block itself. I'm not sure why the shadow's going on today. It's very dark outside. It was hailstoning. And I'm going to press the whole block on. And then also, I'm going to find whatever is left on the gel plate and I'm going to do that. So that is my first colour. I'm not sure why I've got a big blob of green there. But I shall just pick that up. So then I'm going back to the beginning again, and I'm going to take the Blue Lagoon. I'm going to put a little bit of the Blue Lagoon on. I know a lot of people like to mix the colours on the gel plate, but I like to do them all separately. It's just personal preference. So I'm on the front page again, so I'm just going to lightly add some blue to that first page. Go to the next page that I saw. And I usually always use 3 colours. I'm just adding them in, just randomly. There is no special place you need to place it or anything like that. We're just adding some paint in. And then I've got this one here. Okay, and then when I'm happy, let's go back here. To take this, to press it down, and you can see it will pick up the green as well as the blue. And then I'll come over to this one. This was the one with just the dregs on, and I'll just get the rest of that off there as well. Okay, and then I'm going to repeat it with the third colour. Oh, why did I put it on there? You see, I'm going mad. I was thinking I was stenciling. I haven't even got to that part yet. Okay, so this time let's work backwards. There we go, so we'll add a little bit here. Don't worry if you're looking at it and you think, gosh, that looks terrible. You have to go through a lot of ugly to become a swan. Okay, so don't worry about it. And look, I'm never bothered about getting any paint on this side either. You could take your time. You could be a lot neater than me. I'm never neat in my artwork, but that doesn't mean to say that you don't have to be. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit there. And then this is quite dark, so I think I'm just going to find another page and I'm just going to run this off onto another page before I use it as a print. So I'm just going to lift that off there and then come back to this page here. So I've put all three on this actual page. Okay, and again, if you've got anything, you think you've got anything left, nope, nothing left on there. So now that I've done those colours, I am going to take the baby wipe. I'm just going to clean that off. I'm just going to clean up the brayer because I'm swapping colours now. Okay, so now I'm going to go on to the warm colours and I'm just going to do the pages in between. Okay, so I'm going to start with, let's start here. The pink flamingo. Oops, just a little bit. Find some empty pages and do some across the two. I never know what I'm going to use, whether I'm going to do doubles, whether I'm going to do singles. I like to be just as surprised as everybody else when I open my book up. So let's go here. Let's just press that in. And I could even add, because this is dry now, I could continue adding the colours all. It's getting very warm in the studio. I'm just going to lower this heater. It takes ages to warm up. I'm just going to lower this heater. It takes ages to warm up. And then all of a sudden it's so warm. So I'm just going to add it there. Then I'm going to go with desert sand. Add a little bit of desert sand. So it's warm and I've got shadows. I'm not sure what on earth is occurring at all, but does it matter? No. So let's add a little bit of desert sand in here. As I say, you could go a lot slower. You could work in a couple of books at once. I don't. I always work like this. I always like to prep a whole month's worth of book. I mean, sometimes this book doesn't even last a month. Sometimes I have to do another one, which is fine, because I just carry on. I just carry on and do whatever it is I'm doing. So, oh, I missed the first. Let's have some on the first one here. Okay, and then I'll just find a page. Let's have a look. This page will do. And again, can you see how it's picked up both colours? It's just so yummy. And I'm going to see what comes off of this one as well. So all 6 colours are going to end up on here. It's not a lot, but it's a nice mix. And then I'm going to do the Fiery Sunset. So last one. And I'm going to do one at the back. Oh, I'm going to do one just that's just orange actually, yeah. Let's just have a Fiery Sunset there, and then we'll work back this way. So we'll have some Fiery Sunset. And I can imagine you're thinking, what is she doing? Well, who do we know? Are we bothered? So I just like to add these colours on. And of course it looks different by the time you add stenciling to it. I think I'll just add, is that all of them? Yeah, I'll just add this one in here. And again, I'm going to add the rest of it to this page. Just going to see if any more will come off. Nope. So again, I'm just going to baby wipe that off. I know some of you leave it and peel it all off at one side, just can't. I have to clean everything as I go along. So I'm just going to put that to one side. I'm just going to clean up this. Okay, and then I'm going to go on the small one. And the small one is a bit different because you don't want much paint on there at all. So let's have a little bit, I'll go back to the cools, a little bit of the Island Parrot. Okay, and I'm just going to use this as a stamp. You see, so I just get, let's have it here. So I don't do it with every colour, but I just go through and add a little bit okay, so let's add another, let's put a nice green one there. Run off whatever's left on here. I'm just going to run it off onto that page. Okay, and then I'm just going to repeat with the Blue Lagoon. Little bit of paint. Actually, I'm going to add a bit of the blue. You see, you can just keep adding as you go. Doesn't really matter. Let's have this down in this corner here. We'll have one here. Okay, and then I'm going to go on to the warm colours and I'm going to add some with the warm colours. So I'll start with the pink Flamingo. And I just flick through my book and I see what I've got. Let's have a bit of that there. I love it when only bits of them come out as well. So you can also, once they're dry, you can mix the colours up. So you can have the pink in with the cool colours. It's just when they're wet that it's just really hard to do. Have another one in here. Let's have a pink. So you can see, and I mean, I just don't know what I'm going to do with these. When I get to them, I'll do something with them. Again, let's just add a little bit of the pink in here. Let's have some circles, some half circles on here. Oops. Even just the excess coming off. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is, in between there, I will add some more braid ones at the back, but in between there I'm going to do, so you can see at the moment how many of the different things that I've got in there, but in between here, not on this page, but in between, say like this page, etc., I'm going to do some baby wipes. So I'm going to take a baby wipe and I'm just going to add some of this. Remember, we want this to be quick. We want this starting off ever so quick. So we're not going to take too much care over these things. Oops. I just like them really random. Really, I'm going to add a bit more in here actually. There we go. Really, really random so that you're never sure what you're going to put on it later. So you can always add things, but can you see where the grid still shows through? So I'm just going to add a bit of this brown into here as well. There we go. Really, really random so that you're never sure what you're going to put on it later. So you can always add things, but can you see where the grid still shows through? So I'm just going to add a bit of this brown into here as well. I'm just going to use the same bit of baby wipe, but I'm just going to add a little bit of brown. I mean, you can make whatever backgrounds you want in here. I'm just going to add a little bit of brown down this side. There. I've still got some pink left, so let's go to another page further in the back. Get an accidental page. I just go until there's nothing left on my baby one. So then I'm going to do the same with the other colour. So I'm going to take the Island Parrot first. And if you're wondering, yes, this is how quick I work. I'm sorry. I always work really quick. I always have done. Oh, can't get a baby wipe. So I put my finger through it as well. Let's get that. Back to the beginning. Now it's finding the pages, finding the spares. So add some of this. Always leave spaces, always a bit blotchy in there. Because you've always got to be prepared for putting something on the top and you're just not sure what you're going to pop on there. So I'll go to the second colour. If you notice through all these, I'm just keeping cool and warm separate, unless it's totally dry like this. But here, these are all the cool colours. I would never mix cool and warm colours when anything's still damp or wet. You're just going to get mud, you're just going to get brown. So I always separate them out like this. Let's have another page. Let's have a blue in here. Okay, and then we'll just do an accidental page somewhere back here. So we'll just, any paint that's left on the baby wipe, I'm just going to pick up. Okay, so that's how I do the pages in my book. So I'm just going to flick through now, and any pages that are left, these all at the front are all done. So I'm just going to, there's the first one. So I'm just going to start again, and I'm going to finish the ones at the back. Okay, so what I'll probably do is I'll probably turn my book upside down and work backwards from the back. Okay, so I'm not going to chat to you, I'm just going to through and add some more backgrounds, and we'll speed it up a bit for you.